Welcome to the podcast. We talk about all the things that are hidden in the shadows. This is Isaac.
And this is Megan.
And guys, we do apologize for the tardiness of this episode.
Yeah. It's just like life hit us this last couple weeks. Like our son got sick a couple days ago. Nothing serious, just like a cold kind of mixed with allergies, viral kind of thing. We had like a little bit of a stomach bug going through the house. We're like... I was hitting those toilets.
Yeah. Not me. I got
Yeah.
a stomach of iron.
No, I know. This guy could eat raw meat and survive.
I won't go that far. No, but another thing that we wanted to talk about specifically is that we technically need to apologize to you, the listeners, especially ones who've been with us for a while now, especially from the beginning. And it goes in a sense of we really haven't had our shit together when it comes to this podcast about getting things out to you on a timely basis and, you know, not doing things when we say we're going to do them.
Yeah, like merch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think we kind of are developing a strategic plan to kind of get that out to you guys. I know too, like me, because I pretty much, like Isaac will chime in here and there on social media, but I want to kind of like throughout the week give you guys like stuff that I find researching that like will gear you up to the episode, just in case if like we have a subject that one of the listeners or you guys are just like not familiar with. Like for instance, before I kind of knew a little bit about time travel, but after I learned a lot. Same thing with aliens. Like when we were researching, I didn't know a lot about aliens at first. But then I learned a lot. So kind of like the research information that's aside from the, actual episode. That way you guys have, some like backstory going into our episodes, but I suck at consistently posting. So I know I have a plan for the social media aspect of it. And, I do want to start upping our game a little bit with the editing.
Well, not just that, but the fact that sometimes we're late on the episodes or they come out late or something like that. Yeah, that's like the main thing. And making sure they're out on time, making sure everything's done, making sure we actually, we say we're going to do merch, but we keep putting it off. Stop procrastinating in a sense. We're going to try to stop procrastinating.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm the queen of procrastination, so.
Yes.
But I'm working on that. So that was like one of my 20 to 21 goals was to leave procrastination behind, break up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm getting a little bit better at it though. But yeah, so, and I think too, like, cause, the podcast, we have other things outside of the podcast. Like, we're parents. We're, now part of the investigation team.
Paranormal investigation team.
So, and then, on top of that, like Isaac works like 10-hour days. So, and then plus it doesn't help. Our son is like on crazy sleep schedules. He is like me, unfortunately, when I was a kid. Like I literally could just peak at like 4 hours of sleep at night. Like I was fine with that. And it was rough when I was a teenager. Anyways. So I think he gets that, but we're working on getting him on a better schedule and kind of where we're recording. Like I want to be like where we record multiple episodes in a week. So that way the stuff is done and over with, and then like we can kind of like plan around that. But March is actually
You're showing how the sausage is made.
Hey. That's a weird analogy.
Right.
But March is gonna be a busy month, guys. Like the end of February into March. There's a lot of guest episodes, a lot of collabs that we're doing. We got some pretty crazy cool. Sorry, I had to think of the adjective. Some really cool bonus episodes coming out. Like the end of February leading into April. They're really I'm excited for them. First one's going to be February 24th, which is a Wednesday. It's going to be with Amanda from Spook Eats, and yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I'm interviewing her, so yeah, it'll be cool. She's got some upcoming projects, and then probably talk about what she's currently doing too. So, yeah.
I did have a bonus episode for this month, but they had to reschedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it was kind of us too. It was just a clash. It just wasn't the right time, I guess. But we're going to try and book them in March and April, and hopefully, and they were going through a little bit of rough stuff on their end too. So, and it's hard. Sometimes it can be hard with time zones, anyways. But, so now that we got that out of the way, so we're sorry, and we'll definitely step up our game, because we're kind of like doing the minimum, and I feel like we have the potential to do the maximum, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like we have genuine fans and all that stuff, and I feel like you guys you guys deserve us to give you like top notch like stuff.
Yeah.
So, because you guys have stuck with us too, and and we've gained some people too, and we want to make sure we keep them. So, yeah. So, too, on the topics that we're going to be doing, we're trying to kind of dive into different topics, kind of like interesting topics. So that's why, like, I took time travel. Not that it hasn't been done before, it has, but I thought like time travel is kind of interesting, and it's kind of being a conversation topic of like today's time too.
Well, before we get to that,
yeah,
I want to do a haunted update.
Ooh, spooky!
Because I didn't talk about it because it's been a while now.
Yeah.
But my second investigation that I did by myself, not by myself. I'm sorry, I did without you.
Yeah, without me.
Yeah. Was it me, Brandon, and Erica, another member of the team?
Mm-hmm.
The same place, right? Same layout that you went through, everything like that. Mm-hmm. So the second time went out, me and Brandon were there early, right? And we were waiting for Erica to show up or get there. I think she was getting off work or something. But we were just mulling around, and my right hand started charging like it does normally around there. And for to reiterate, or to re-explain, my right hand, when it charges, it feels the dark or evil energies of the dead. As opposed to my left hand feels the light and good energies of the dead. So when my right hand's charging, nothing good is around. Anyway. We were walking down the dirt road in the park area outside the Octagon House, and to the tree that we normally go to, just check out, make sure everything's working well there. It's kind of the center of the field because it stands alone. But as we're walking in, my right hand charged and pulled me in the direction of a spot in the ground, a perfect circle of darker grass versus the lighter grass in the ground. Mm-hmm. Right? It's weird because it pulled me in that direction, and the grass was darker in that one spot. You can see it, even without a flashlight. You can see that this spot, a perfect circle, is darker than the rest. And I felt a dark energy, and of course, I pulled it from the spot. And Brandon had a spirit box out, asking the spirits questions like, what is the spot? What happened here? Right? And some of the spirits said bad. One said demon.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
And I pulled the energy from it, and then the energy started pulling me in another direction. And it pulled me to this tree that looked like it had blood on it. Right?
Get out, yeah.
But it wasn't blood. It's the bark on the tree. And I don't know if anyone, I'm not a tree expert, but anyone knows that like a white tree that has like red pixelation blotches on the tree.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I bet you in that moment you were like, shit.
Well, when he saw it, I was like, is that blood? Yeah. But it was weird is that the tree was growing in an X.
Yeah. Like
one branch in the ground, another branch growing in the opposite in the X. So making like a big X.
Well, that's kind of crazy because I know like I wasn't on the investigation, but I did get some stuff that kind of like validated kind of like my abilities, and that was kind of cool. I know like leading up to it, I kept telling Isaac, I don't know if this is important. I don't know how like I'm just going to tell you what I'm feeling. And that's like, as I'm coming more and more into these abilities and kind of like the idea of going on investigations and stuff, I'm just like stuff that I used to keep in my head, I'm just blurting out, and it's turns out like it's actually validated. And one of the things was I kept telling him, hey, someone is going to be there. You guys are gonna run into somebody.
Yeah, and you were right.
Yeah.
So after that spot, right, we walked over
Mhm.
to the tree that's in the middle of the field. That's like standalone by itself. I think we explained in the last episode when we talked about our first investigation that there might have been a marker for like in the Civil War for some reason. Who knows? Anyway, we were standing by the tree, and then we actually were pulled away a little off to the side, and then we saw a random vehicle pulling up, which we thought was Erica. You know, I don't know what she drove, right? And he said she drove kind of like a car. So this didn't sound like a car. It sounded like a rickety truck, right? And we flashed our flashlights at the car vehicle because we thought it was Erica. It's like, hey, we're here, right? I don't know if she could see us in the dark. Mm. And that person pulled over, stopped, right? And says, hey, what are y'all doing out here? Right? Obviously trying to intimidate us if it was like, if we thought we were kids or something, right? Yeah. To which Brandon replied, we're just here checking out this tree. You know, what are you doing?
Checking out the tree.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. And he was like, oh, I can't tell how old you are, right? And he goes, well, I don't know.
Well, even so, wasn't it a 24-hour park?
Yeah. Anyway, so Brandon says, well, I don't know why that matters, but I'm 36. And then the guy's attitude changed like on a dime. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was just like, you guys just chilling out here, huh? Right? And Brandon goes, yeah, you do what you do, man. We're just going to be here. I was like, all right. And he just drives, goes in the parking space where we parked, turns around, and leaves. Now, obviously, if you come to the park just to be at the park, that for one, no one shows at the park that goddamn late anyway. Yeah. Except for us weirdos who are investigating.
Yeah.
But
or if they
are up to no good.
Yeah.
So obviously he was up to no good because who comes, asks some random people what you're doing, drives in the parking spot and leaves? Yeah. Why'd you drive all the way out here just gonna turn around and leave? Because you were going to do something you don't want other people to see.
Yeah.
So
weirdo.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was crazy because like when I got like I guess the vision like before, like I was because Isaac thought, oh, maybe I'm talking about something spiritual. I was like, no, like I think it's a physical person.
So. And a little bit after that, I think Erica finally showed up. There was a point where we were underneath another tree that I think you thought like a kid was at. Oh yeah, that's where. I mean, not on the trail. This tree's out in the field. It's in that field. No, when I was there, I had gotten like flashes of like just like an older kid, like maybe like 10, 11, like a young girl, like definitely like period style clothing. She was just sitting there, and I guess she witnessed something she wasn't supposed to, and like they killed her for it. I don't know, like I don't know where you could find evidence of that, but. You know, back then it was kind of like a free-for-all for killing and not really recording. But while we were underneath the tree, it got really, really cold. Mm-hmm. Like, really cold. Like I was like, man, it's colder here than anywhere else in the field. Mm-hmm. And I think Erica showed up after that, so we went to go say hey, and like introduce myself. It's my first time meeting her. Yeah. And we took her to the spots that I found the dark energy from. She said something dark happened here, validating my ability. What you gonna look for?
I don't know. I'm listening.
It was funny that when we were in the road, the dirt path, right? It was warm there. It was warmer than anywhere else.
Yeah, because maybe the stuff there is getting more and more familiar with the use of the energies and that hostile. You know what I mean? Not hostile, but like they feel. I don't know if this is like an actual thing, but like they feel maybe more warmth towards you guys. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So we started making our way to the trail, right? And then my left hand charges as very concentrated energy in my left hand. Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
Ay, ay, ay.
And it felt like someone was holding my hand.
Cochino.
Hey. It felt like someone was holding my hand, right? To which I replied, is Kate holding my hand? Now, Kate's a little girl on the property, right? She's very friendly. She'll come say, hey, she's almost like a guide,
mm-hmm.
right?
And that was also the little girl at the very, like, when I first went there that I felt hold my hand as I was looking out into the field. So.
Yeah, she held my left hand. Obviously, that's the hand that absorbs good energy.
That would have been my left hand, too.
Yeah. And then Brandon asked, Kate, are you holding Isaac's hand? She replied, yes. Over
that spirit box, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Over the spirit box.
Dang.
And we were making our way to the trail. And we were passing a spot that was previously found a cauldron. It had dark energy. Obviously, some evil, possible witchcraft happened there or something. Because the energy from the area is dark. Mm-hmm. I know my right hand charge in that direction every single time we pass it.
Yeah.
Now, when we first passed it on our way to the trail, a good amount of energy. I absorbed some stuff. Nothing too dangerous. So we're making our way down the trail. Making our way. And
don't want to get too into the lyrics, then it's copyrighted.
And the main reason why I wanted to go to the main clearing spot was to find the portal that we found the original time, that I found with my left hand. When we got to the clearing spot, right, I looked in that same direction where it was, and I felt a faint energy pull of left energy, or my light energy, but there was nothing there. The portal was gone. Mm-hmm. Right? And we couldn't figure out why. Why was it so powerful the last time we were there, but no more than a week and a half later, it's gone. Mm-hmm. While we were there, little things happened. Dark energy I pulled, nothing too major. We did find a weird clearing of looked like sticks were laid in a circle. Mm.
Yeah.
And then we made our way. We actually found a new trail. It looked like it was just cleared. Found a few different things, nothing major. And then as we were making our way back, going past back the same spot where the cauldron was, I call it the cauldron spot. Mm-hmm. I said, there's something dark here, something pulling me in. It's like I can feel it, right? So we stayed there for a little bit over the EVP. We're talking. Something kept saying, go, leave, get out of here, right? To which I replied, make me, right? Mm-hmm. Then Brandon's flashlight was slapped out of his hand.
Dang.
Because I saw him drop it. I'm like, who did that? Like, Brandon's like, who did that, right? So I stretch out my hand. Mind you, Erica is now sitting on these two logs that are in front of the spot of where the cauldron spot is. She's sitting on one of them. I guess she's trying to feel the earth or something. That's her a gift, I would say. Mm-hmm. And I felt a pull in there, and I was trying to feel around for it. And I looked toward Brandon to see if he was all right, and then I felt whatever this dark energy was run up on me. Like, majority of dark energy, when I'm pulling it, runs away. Like, it does not come towards me. This came at me, to which I felt it get increase. And then I started pulling as a reflex. Mm-hmm. And whenever I pulled, how I describe when I pull regular dark spirits is like smoke, right? This was like sand. It was thicker. It was coarse. Caused me pain to pull from it. And side note, earlier in the night, I was asking, because Erica makes bracelets with gemstones and crystals and stuff like that for protection and stuff like that. And I asked her, can I get one, just for tonight? Because it's, I don't know, I probably need some protection because my arm was already hurting a little bit from that portal I supposedly absorbed that was in the ground or grass or whatever. Yeah. So she gave me one, just a regular bracelet with a crystal on it. That thing vibrated on my wrist.
And I can attest it shattered as well.
Well, let's get to
Sorry.
Yeah, that thing vibrated on my wrist before my hand charged. So vibration on my wrist from the bracelet, then my hand charged. And when I was absorbing, I could feel the vibration of the bracelet increase as I pulled, right? So this thing ran up from that bracelet was charging, and of course that bracelet was vibrating and my hand was charging, and I pulled that dark energy, all of it, and I stopped it. Of course, that caused me pain in my arm and my shoulder. It was a lot. Whatever this was fought me to basically stop because I guess I know what it was. And I looked at the time and I had to go. Mm-hmm. But they stayed after and they actually went back to the Octagon House graveyard to actually talk to spirits, and they actually could. They actually talked to servants and different, people they couldn't hear before. Mm-hmm. Hence, make me thinking I took away what was blocking them.
Yeah.
For the time being. And we got to see the crystal afterwards, and it was shattered. Cracks, damaged, broken in half. I mean, this thing took damage.
Yeah.
Just from one night of use.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. For the amount of energy I absorbed. But yeah, that was our second investigation. Yeah. By myself anyway, without you.
I know. Yeah, I haven't gone. Yeah, but I think we're going to go on something soon, so it'll be interesting.
But on to the subject of today.
Cue the time warp.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's do the time warp.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that song.
Okay.
It's on my Halloween playlist.
Time travel. The idea of it, is it real? Does it work? How does it work? And the theories behind it.
Yeah.
And I have many on them.
Cool beans.
And then, of course, it all involves depictions from movies and shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, first off, as we're dipping our toes into the time traveling water, that was a pretty cool accent. I didn't know I could pull that out. Okay. Anyways, so, and this is kind of like the quintessential question about time travel. If you could time travel anywhere, like anytime, even if it's just like a viewing process, right? Like it's not fully like you're in that time period, you're just like viewing it, where would you go?
But I mostly would time travel back in time to different periods to watch certain artists play.
Yeah, that was me too. I was like, if I could see like Metallica, like when they first came out,
Like their first show.
oh my gosh.
Right?
Oh,
Or like, I go back to like watch Johnny Cash play
oh yeah, that would have been a good one too.
with Buddy Holly and,
Woo.
you know, Jerry Lee Lewis, watching them play, like holy crap, you know?
Yeah.
In like
Yeah, I
different
think I
eras
would
of bands.
mainly use time travel for
Concerts.
concerts. I really would. I even would like, I remember, because this is a total like off the wall, but like because I was raised on like 80s hair metal from my mom and like 90s goth metal kind of, even though she kind of like, I've never been a fan of like thrash, so like Anthrax and stuff like that I'm not really a big fan of. Slayer's okay, but it's not really my cup of tea. Anyways, but you know who I'd actually want to see? I forgot like where they performed at, but like Def Leppard, right? I remember I used to always watch the live concerts as a kid. And I always said like, oh man, if I could go. It was like one of their like biggest things. It was like when they first came out. And it was really good. I was like, dang. That's
Yeah.
like I know you're not a Def Leppard fan, but that, and I think like Slipknot when they first came out. Like, I mean, I was alive, obviously, but like I wasn't old enough to go to a concert. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
my present day self could go back and see. Or
brings me on one of the first subjects equivalent to time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, every movie we've watched, every show, every depiction, you know what I'm trying to say?
Learn your words. Depiction. I didn't even say it right.
Depiction of time travel in most media all equivalates to the idea of getting in a device or having a device and, you know, pushing yourself through time backwards or forwards, you know, depending.
Yeah.
Most people go backwards. Only few ever go forward.
Mm-hmm.
If you think of most films and stuff like that, it's always backwards. Now, that makes sense in an idea that backwards in the past has already happened. You know how to map it. Versus the future is unknown. So it's harder to map, you know, traverse and go through it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was why most movies, I guess, take that path. But I don't think it works the way we want it to.
Mm-hmm.
And Endgame, right? Avengers Endgame really put the kibosh on all ideas of time travel. You know what that word means?
Kibosh.
The stamp, like this is the way, this is the only one. You know, this,
sounds
what
like
they did.
Type of skewer.
Yeah, well, the concept in Endgame, they basically said this is the way this should be done with time travel, because when you concept time travel, you're going into the past to change the future, right? That was the original belief, that if you go back in time, change something, it reverts the future. The butterfly effect, in a sense. Good movie. Small details can change the future in any way, right? That's why I say, when people say you time travel, don't do this, don't do that, don't touch nothing, because you could mess up, like, you step on a leaf and you could, change the whole essence of World War III or World War II or something like that, right? Stuff like that. Which doesn't make any sense when it comes to that level of time travel, because the Hulk said it best. When you go back in time, you're starting at that point in time, right? Because time is linear in a sense of one reality, but we believe in multiple realities. So there's multiple planes or multiple timelines. So multiple, it's basically a plane, right? It's a linear time, but on a plane. The way the Hulk explained it is that if you go from point A to point B now becomes your point A because that's where you're starting. So your future is now your past, and the current past that you're in is your current future, your present, which then becomes your future in time.
Right.
I know it's really hard.
It really is, because research
really messes with your head to try to even comprehend it. But it's essentially that you're moving from one point to the other, and that point now is where you're starting. So you exist as a 33-year-old, and if you want to live more lives, right, as you get older, you're living them in, say, the 1950s. You go to 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, right? You basically just started over in time, but your life still goes on.
Yeah.
So that's what he was making the point on. That you can't change the past by going there. You're just now being there now.
Yeah.
So everything that would happen is happening differently because it has your involvement.
Well, here's a question. Do you think the time travelers that say, hey, I'm a time traveler, you think they're actually time travelers?
Yes, that's the other points when it comes to that. Now, time travelers are a conundrum to the idea. Because most of it is bullshit. Funny enough, there's been one, I remember I saw a video for one time travel. He had his face blacked out and looked like a heavyset guy. Was claiming to be the famous woman seen in the Charlie Chaplin film. And if you ever saw that. There's one of the famous time travel, time travel exists evidence, is that there's a film with Charlie Chaplin, remember, way back when, 1930s or whatever, when that was filmed. And in the background, it looks like a woman holding a cell phone and talking while she's walking, right? Cell phones weren't even invented until the late 90s or early 90s, right? This is like 1910, 1930, right? So there's no way someone would have a cell phone. But it looks like that. A small box in her hand to her ear. Now, they said it was a hearing device that she had to her ear, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's weird.
He claimed that it was him, but he said he was going through some cross-dressing phase. I don't know. Stupid. He also said Justin Bieber would be president 5 years ago.
See, and that's what I'm thinking is like, what if there's this crazy thing of like, if they are time travelers, this is just a huge if. Because like, I know one of the like things was, because on TikTok you find a lot of like time traveler type videos and stuff. And one of the things was, like who would win the Super Bowl? And there was a lot of Kansas City Chiefs, right? And the thing is like, when they make it public and they say what's going to happen, does it alter what actually happens? You know what I mean?
Then that goes with the idea of time travelers exist and we have technology to time back in time travel. Ugh, I said that weird. If we have the ability to time travel and, go backwards and stuff like that, then there has to be some kind of police or agency or time cops or some bureau. It's basically named all the different fictional time lords in charge of it and making sure everything is happening the way it should. So that means every time a time traveler messes something up, like spilling the beans on a certain subject, those time cops or time agents, whatever, fix the timeline to discredit that time traveler.
Yeah. Right?
Because time travel hasn't been existing yet. It hasn't been invented yet, right? So we can't do it. It can't be exposed that it does exist, because when you do that, you mess up the timeline, making things harder for them. So they have to change the timeline to go against what they said, to discredit them so people don't believe it.
Yeah.
Keeping us in the matrix, as people say.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is, and this is kind of like a little experiment. So a lot of those videos will tell you to look out for these dates. Like there's something of importance. And I know like one date that they said from 2020 was September 4th, 2020. And I don't remember anything happening. big. I have to look back and like see if like anything actually did. But the next two dates, like repetitive, like time travelers keep saying something big is going to happen, is March 6th, 2021 and May 27th, 2021. So I'm just putting that out there. So like when that time comes, I'm going to see if anything really truly did happen. That was big. So I don't know. But I don't know if you've heard of the time traveler. There was a time traveler guy named Noah, and he was supposedly from 2030. And a lot of the times when I watch these time traveler videos, I kind of look because
it's 9 years in the future. That's not that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'll
the thing
still
is,
be
like,
alive.
yeah. And basically, he consistently asked for like his face to be blurred, voice distorted, because he didn't want like the assassins to get him. Is essentially what which plays into the thing of maybe there's a bureau or like a cop or like an agency that goes after people that time travel. Like you're not supposed to do it. But he basically said like in order for him to time travel, he has a chip in his arm. He got an X-ray and it actually showed a little chip in his arm,
which you can get now.
Yeah. Weird.
That's it. As much as he seemed credible, there's a lot of things that can discredit him.
Yeah. And no, because some of the predictions she did make was incorrect. But that's again, I'm thinking. But I think it was on a couple of different like insights videos or whatever I saw about him, like he was on a live stream and like disappeared on live stream.
Was that a live stream or someone said it was live, pre-recorded, and edited?
See, you don't know. Don't know.
I'm just crapping on it.
But for me, like the time traveler videos always seem a little bit more compelling than the photos. Like I don't know. I mean, you can edit into videos, obviously, and our technology to kind of like edit videos is insane now. But
now there was one. Ignore.
Okay. Well then, all right.
Now there's one. My earliest knowledge of time travel. What you want to look for?
It's like your ass went through a time warp.
Was a video. The guy telling the story of finding a portal of some kind of tunnel that led him underneath his house or underneath his sink. I can't remember what he said it was. That led him to a back in time or to the future where he met his older self.
Yeah.
And he actually took a picture with his older self. Or actually took video of him and his older self.
Jeez.
They had the same tattoo.
I think I remember seeing that.
They had the same tattoo in the same exact place. Right? Same design. They looked alike, like almost like a father and son, essentially. And people said, "Oh, that's time travel evidence." Or someone just had a fake tattoo on their arm, with an older relative.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you see a picture of your grandfather, your grandmother, even your great grandfather, great grandmother, sometimes they look like you. Mm-hmm. Like you're almost a repeat of them.
Yeah.
And how that's possible when granted they have your same blood, but you're not mixing the same people.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to time travelers, I don't think it works the way we want it to, in a sense of physically transporting from one point to the other. And reason being, the idea of if it's astrophysics or it's some form of science, but there's a saying that two objects can't occupy the same space at the same time. Mm-hmm. Meaning, if you were to travel back to a period of time that you're still alive, you can't coexist with your other self because you're both existing. Your genetic or map or atoms, whatever that's particular to you, can't exist in the same time and place as your own self. So that means you'd have to go back before you were alive in order to exist in that same spot. Right? So, but Einstein said time travel was impossible, but then Stephen Hawking said it was physically impossible. Mm-hmm. We couldn't physically go back in time, but we could probably view it.
Yeah.
Now, that goes in the idea of able to view the past, right? Mm-hmm. Either through our mental memories and stuff like that, or through your bloodline, kind of like Assassin's Creed, if anyone ever played that game.
Yeah.
They basically had a device that took your bloodline and allow you to see your ancestors' life and avatar them in a sense, like you were physically them. And you could see their day-to-day, what they did, say, in the Renaissance or ancient Greece, or depending how far your bloodline goes back, you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think, is more plausible than actually physically going back in time.
Yeah.
That also means that any depiction of history that is not correct can easily be fixed or easily found out by doing that. Now, that creates a problem because it's the old saying, history is written by the victors.
Mm-hmm.
Good different stories of what we're told, which we're finding out now, right? A lot of people that we thought were good people at the past, we're actually finding out they're pieces of shit. Things that we were told and made to believe are actually wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's being found out by just doing a little more studying than what we were taught. But actually seeing it and having video evidence, right? Because everybody needs to see to believe it,
Mm-hmm.
would really change the course of history forever.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to make that available to everybody? They're not.
No, I don't think so.
It's good. Well, not soon anyway.
Yeah.
I think we'll be able to record our dreams before you actually do that.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. But that leads to the other theory, other thought of time travel. Someone said once that, I think it was on TikTok, they're talking about it. How you can remember your youth. You can remember yourself young. You can remember yourself 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that person, who you are, and everything like that. But that also means your future self is remembering your present self. Your future self already exists.
Yeah.
And it's remembering your present self. So if you were able to concentrate or meditate enough, you could tell your younger self not to do something to change your current time. Or maybe not. Maybe just change something different. Wouldn't it be weird if you told your younger self mentally not to do this and you saw a scar fade away off your hand?
Mm.
Right?
Jeez,
that's
no.
Looper, another time travel movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that idea of meditation, right? Because we,
Mm-hmm.
hint of the next week's episode,
Mm-hmm.
are doing meditation to see our past lives.
Yeah.
Right?
And that is going to be a hefty episode.
Yes.
Hefty.
All right.
Sorry.
But yeah, we can see if we can meditate enough to see our past lives, then technically you could do the same thing, but on a smaller scale, and i.e. viewing your younger self and telling you excuse me. I don't know, I'm so gassy. I think without talking, the air's coming in and out.
Okay. That's probably not it. But
All right.
Okay.
But yeah, if you can give a message to your younger self, I think you could change a few things mentally, but not maybe physically. And then, again, this is only a theory. There's no actual proof behind it. Except for the idea of anytime you're in a scary situation or a major decision and you get a gut feeling of doing this or doing that, what if that's not a gut feeling, a sense of intuition? What if it's your future self telling your present self not to do that because you already made the other choice? Yeah. So, small form of time travel actually exists on that scale if you believe that theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's the type of thing that the government's going to be doing it way before citizens. So,
Yeah. Now, if you can combine both things together, say technology and the idea of spirituality, like we just explained, together. If you can find some way to boost that mental ability, to induce that level of I guess, mental capacity, then you actually could view, record, catalog, and go back.
Yeah.
And go back farther, which then essentially is the Assassin's Creed machine.
So, leading into this, and that's one thing we're going to start doing is have a post where you guys can ask questions that you want us to kind of answer in the episode. So it's kind of like you guys and have a little piece of the episode.
Yeah.
One question we got was from Official Paranormal Coast on Instagram. And it was, if you successfully time travel, does that mean it continuously repeats over and over? I mean, if I go to the past back and forth, then are you finally born, then it repeats?
Now, another movie reference. Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
John Connor had to send Kyle Reese, his father, back in time to meet his mother, also protect her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that he would not be born if he did not send Kyle Reese back.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Reese had to go back in time in order to be John Connor's father. John knows this,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't tell Kyle Reese this.
Yeah.
Because he tells Kyle Reese this, it could change the time. Yeah. So that is a loop, in a sense, that you have to repeat.
And then we also have another question from Startin Family Crystals, which if you guys aren't following them and you're into crystals, seriously, their stuff is crazy good.
Which I probably have to get some stuff for them.
Yeah, no, they're, I mean, they blow me away every time, like, they do lives and stuff and they show off their, but their question was, does time traveling to the past really affect the future, like in the movies?
Well, I think I kind of answered that.
Yeah.
A little bit already.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends. Like, if they do more of a viewing situation, obviously it's not gonna, you're just viewing.
That's a still.
But like, if you're physically there,
Yeah.
I can see how, because everything has a domino effect, So.
Well, that's the idea of folding time and space and doing that. It's like light speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Star Trek light speed machines. You're basically folding point A, point B in half in order to get through it quicker.
Yeah.
With space and time, when you're viewing through a telescope, something that's thousands of light years away, you're viewing it 1,000 years ago. Because it takes that amount of time for that light to come from there to reach you. And vice versa. If there's another planet that's 1,000 light years away from us, they're viewing Earth 1,000 years ago.
Jeez.
So they're not seeing current technology. They're seeing 1100 AD. Which was that medieval time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know that.
Which lies another theory of maybe why aliens haven't visited us, because they see us like they're still building stuff with bricks and stone and swords, right? They don't think it's see as high technology advanced, but we know better now that aliens live among us. So
yeah.
The thing is, though, if they're another planet and their technology is that more advanced, couldn't they have some kind of device that actually sees it as it is current time? And we're the Neanderthals that see, through glass and lights in order to see very far away. Hence why we're seeing things 1,000 years ago. So that means every planet that we look at that's ever how many light years away, we're seeing it that long ago.
Yeah.
So just because we see a planet and there's no life on it, we're seeing it before life was existing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which that messes with my head when I think about that. Distance in time can relate to how you view it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So that messes with my head a lot when I think about that.
Yeah.
But the concept of time, when you think about it, is that we are in the third dimension,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're up, down, left, right, around, right? Third dimension. We're three-dimensional beings.
Mm-hmm.
Time, I believe, is on the fourth dimension. I think it's been discussed too. Like time is the fourth dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Different theories by different scientists. Because I believe spirituality, spirits, demons, ghosts, whoever, are on the fourth dimension. That is their plane. That's where they are. Reason I say that is because time does not exist to them. They don't see it as, them deteriorating or getting older or going back or going forth. It's always happening as obscene future in the past at the same time. That's why you get residual spirits, because they keep repeating the same thing over again as if they're in their own time. But everything else is going around differently from them. So that's why I think time is the fourth dimension. That's what the spirits are, because time doesn't exist to them. They are ancient and they are young at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm saying time a lot in this episode.
Time.
If it was a drinking game, so I'm going to be drunk already. And there's the...
And we're not talking about the herb.
No. And there's the depiction of creatures that see time differently than us. In the movie Arrival. Stop.
Sorry.
The movie Arrival. Did you ever see that? No. Anyway. Aliens come to Earth that view time not linear like we do. We only see forward and we see back. That's it. Mm-hmm. They see it from all angles, and their current is happening at their past, and they come to our dimension, right, or our planet, to help humans evolve to that point.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, what is up with you and the burps?
told you. I don't know why.
Gonna upheaval your stomach soon.
Hey, these glads coming out the attic, not the basement. That's a dad joke. Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. No, but they saw time differently than us, right? So they don't see it linear. That goes also with the character Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. You have no idea what I'm talking about. No.
I don't know. Thinking about it, time travel movies haven't really been like.
It's not a time travel movie. It's how he depicts time, right? He was created in an accident by nuclear fusion that deteriorated his entire body. He learned to put himself back together again, giving him god level powers, like literally a god level power. He can create, change matter to his will. Doesn't matter what it is. He'll turn my phone into a block of gold, or return to a bullet into snow. It doesn't necessarily matter what it is. He can change and create. Technically makes him a god in a sense. And his size he can change. It doesn't matter. He's invincible. This is the Dr. Manhattan. But how he views time is different. He can see his future and his own past happening at the same exact moment. It doesn't matter it's like he sees it forward and backward. So time is not linear to him. And to view time like that is almost an impossibility for us, because it's inconceivable, right? How can we only ever see forward? Our memories are of the past, but we can't see future. We can't view the future. We can guess, we can figure it out, we predict, but we're never 100% true.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can see things coming, as they say, right? And you get some people in the world, like you, who have precognition in a small scale.
Yeah.
Which goes to the belief that the future has already happened or is happening. And the idea of time is linear in that sense that time. Well, I don't know why I'm doing that with my hands.
Ew, what was that? You weirdo.
I felt like I was trying to make a visualization.
It's like slowly like itching his hand. Okay.
Right? That future, past all exist at the same time because it's moving that way, right? Flow of time, as they say, is linear to us. That's why you and other psychics have precognition in the sense that because they're seeing what's going to happen because it already has happened.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It messes my head when I try to comprehend it.
Yeah.
Viewing it, though, you can only see it. You can't change it. And there goes with the old saying, not old saying, but the famous line from The Matrix, the second one, where Oracle tells Neo, you've already made the choice. You're here to understand why you made the choice.
Yeah.
Right? To learn from why you made the choice. You're already made it because it's already happened. Where are you going? So where are you going?
Oh.
Look, you're meditating.
No, just a little vision thing going on.
So, in conclusion, right? Does time travel exist? Not on what we think it is. Can it happen one day? Well, I'm hoping so. Because I wish I could have the Assassin's Creed machine. Yeah, go back and view your time, see your past lives.
Yeah.
Right? More than what we're doing right now with meditation.
Yeah. Meditation is whew, at least with me anyways, it's really like cracking open that noogle in my head.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a new word. I don't even think that's a word. Noogle.
Noogle?
Noodle
and noggin?
Yeah.
I think you're trying to combine those two words together.
Noogle.
Noogle. Wait, that sounds like some Stone Cold would say, you goddamn noogle.
Oh, oops. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. Time in the measurement of it is still difficult.
Yeah.
And learning to travel it through space is our next great adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
But
with that being said,
next week's episode
is reincarnation, which I am excited about that one.
Because there's one thing I've been told twice now by different psychics. And we'll go in more depth with it because it applies to both of us.
Yeah. We
have lived many lives and we have met each other over those periods of time.
Yeah. And I'm actually going to try a past life regression and see like if I could like truly see some stuff for you guys and kind of like put my experience out there. I know a couple people I definitely want to talk to about like their experiences with past life regression. And then also I kind of, for that episode, I think I'm going to reach out to a couple of mediums to explain and like give their insight on past lives, because a lot of mediums specialize in past lives. So,
and I'll give you a small snippet, right? It is believed by the two different psychics we've talked to. I have been a warrior, a soldier, or a fighter in every single one of my lives that I've ever lived.
Yeah.
And I'll go explaining how and why I believe, or the evidence behind it.
Well, when I was reading on reincarnation, because I started doing some of the research for it, one of the things they said was when you decide like to go back and do another life or whatever, there's a reason why you have to go back again. Like you choose to go back, but there's a reason. Like maybe you haven't done what you really, your soul's purpose yet, like in another life. So you're going to do it again, kind of thing. So we're going to definitely break all that stuff down because I think that's super freaking crazy and interesting. And we're also going to kind of do, because technically Catholicism and Christianity does not believe, I don't think, in reincarnation in past lives.
No.
So that's going to be interesting because since starting this journey, that really pressures my Catholicism beliefs and Christianity and all that stuff, because I do feel like past lives is a thing. And I feel like it's something that could technically be in the realm of Christianity and Catholicism. Like it's they make it seem like, oh, you can't believe in reincarnation at all. Like you just go heaven or hell, you know? But I don't believe in that.
I have a theory why that it works together.
Yeah.
Anyway, our bonus episode for Saturday. Not bonus. Sorry. When it comes to the Saturday Night Live, I don't know who we're going to do it with yet. And if, worst case scenario, it would just be me
hanging out,
talking about
spooky stuff and possibly wrestling.
Possibly wrestling.
Yeah, because you like wrestling, so if there's wrestling fans.
I might gripe about metal. I don't know. No. Also, guys, check out our Instagram at Hidden in the Shadows Podcast, where you can see the Instagram lives that we do.
Yeah.
Every Saturday. Different times. It depends on who we schedule it with and when we're available. But most of the time it's around 8 or 9. Also check out our Twitter, Hidden in the Shaw 6. And then also our TikTok,
Hidden in the podcast too.
We don't have a Facebook stuff.
No, yeah, we do. We don't really, which that's another part of our little thing. We got to start using Facebook more.
Well, Facebook's for old people.
No. But we basically, Instagram is like our hub. Yeah. But Twitter, we use a lot every now and then.
I might get my top 5s and stuff.
Yeah.
As always, we'll catch you weirdos in the next one.